again on a review hearing, and we will go ahead and take announcements.
Pamela Ferguson, Regional Attorney representing the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. I am present and ready with Permanency Specialist Becky Hernandez and Supervisor Dakota Miller for cause number 10392. And I am present and ready with Permanency Specialist Uriah Alvarez and Supervisor Will Ratton on cause number 10407, all from St. Francis Ministries.
Stacy Grant for the Mother Encarnacion Castro in both cases.
Linda Ebling Adladon for the children.
Monica Olivas and Beverly Schulte for with CASA.
All right, thank y'all. Okay, well, obviously since we were together last, we've had some big changes. So I guess Ms. Miller, are you going to give the report, or who's giving our report today? Ms. Alvarez?
My worker Becky will give the report on the two children, and then Ms. Alvarez will give the report on Encarnacion.
Okay, all right, Ms. Hernandez, we'll hear from you first then.
Yes, Eugenia and Isabel, they're doing great in their home. Last time I went to go see them, you know, they're pretty happy-going kids. They're adjusted to the home they are at now, especially being with their youngest brother. They're all united. They do all attend daycare, and they are meeting their milestones. They're healthy, eating, sleeping great. No medical concerns with them. And yeah, the kids are really doing great and they're thriving. They did stop visitations ever since mom went to jail, so they haven't been communicating her with since. But I do send mom pictures just so she can see how they're doing. And I give mom updates on the kids as well. But the kids are doing great.
Okay. And they're just still in the same placement they've been in, and
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Judge.
okay, well, due to the developments that we've had, is placement potentially long-term placement?
Yes, they are wanting to adopt, and they are licensed to adopt as well.
All right. I know she's just in jail right now. All I know is that there were 3 felony charges. I assume they have to do with the injury to the youngest child, but I don't know that. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
Okay.
And Your Honor, given that, we did file for an application for special immigrant juvenile status. We filed that prior to the incident. She did get accepted for that, but she won't be able to finalize it. Being charged and incarcerated for a felony will be a total bar to that. So, and it's now a conflict for me to do anything further on her immigration case. So I will be, referring her out to a charity.
Okay. Okay, anything else, Mr. Hernandez, as far as the kids are concerned in that case?
No, Judge.
Okay. Have you had any conversations with mom about, what she wants to do at this point, or?
Mom doesn't even know what is going to happen to her. She's always asking me. I spoke to her yesterday, asked if anybody spoken to her about her sentence or her next court hearing for that case, specifically why she's in jail. She said so far she has not. Yeah, I did let her know about the option of, the children did get adopted. She just cried, but other than that, she doesn't really know what to do.
Okay. All right, then let's just jump over real quick then to Ms. Alvarez. Let's get a report on mom.
Yes, Your Honor. The updates for her case as far as her extended care goes is that due to her being incarcerated, she was discharged from her supervised independent living and has transitioned to child independence at this time. With no anticipated release date and her still being incarcerated, there's not much that we're able to offer her right now while she is there. And we just hope that, if anything, we can get her answers about the sentencing, because that is what she asked the most about.
Yeah. Has she been has she been appointed an attorney yet? Do we know that?
I believe so, but she's not. She doesn't ever have papers when I meet with her, and she's very confused about everything that's happening.
Okay. Anything else to report or any other contact with the father in either case? I mean, I forgot to ask Ms. Hernandez, any other further contact with the father?
No, I reached out to his brother, and he still doesn't have no idea where his brother's at. Domingo has never reached out to his brother as well, or as me. So no, we still don't know where he's at.
Okay. Then I assume the same is true in the other case as well. All right, then Ms. Grant, anything to report?
No, Judge, not a lot to add to all of that. I have a lot of unknowns right now. And so I'm just trying to navigate that. And I am also looking for someone to assist her with her immigration case if Miss Ferguson can't find anyone.
Do you know if she's had an attorney appointed on these other things?
I was not able to find an attorney appointment. And so I have my staff looking this morning and calling the jail to ensure that she has properly filled out the paperwork to request a lawyer.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a little hopeless right now, I would say. Okay. Ms. Emling?
Did you say me, Your Honor?
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm sorry. No, kids are doing great. Placement does report that the older two kids seem less anxious and distressed, not having the visits now. So they're usually a little bit more anxious, and the day or so after the visits had taken place before. But it said everything's just going really good with them right now.
Okay. All right. What's ICE's? Okay, let's just say something happens and the criminal charges go away. ICE is going to have a hold on her, I assume, and they're probably still going to deport, correct?
That's why she needs an immigration attorney, Your Honor. I mean, I don't know if there's any, I mean, if these charges don't go away, then there's, I don't know that there's any avenue, but if they did, she would have certain avenues. I mean, her 360 has been accepted, so that kind of gives her some protection. But it won't be able, I mean, like at the end, you have to file an application saying you've never committed a crime in the United States and that kind of stuff. And if you check, yes, you have, then they scrutinize it and usually they reject it.
Mm-hmm. What
But
are they injury to a child charges? Is that what they are?
I believe it's injury to a child.
Okay.
It might get pled down. There might be some other things they could do. I certainly wanted to, and Stacey, I would welcome any help you can give me to find her an immigration attorney pro bono that can work with her criminal attorney, just to make sure everything's being done for her.
Okay, I reached out to a law school friend in the Dallas area, and there's a lot more immigration attorneys there.
Yeah.
And so I'm hopeful that I'll find someone that needs some pro bono hours on their CLEs. That's my effort. I will tell you, I think there's 3 charges, Your Honor. I think she's charged with 3 felonies, and there's like endangerment and injury, and I think there's a 3rd one.
I think it's like, I don't know what the exact charge is, but it's like failure to seek help.
Yeah. It's 3 felonies.
Like injury by omission or something like that.
Right.
Okay. Well,
Which-
this could all take a very, very long time to sort itself out. And, I don't know what her mindset is about any of this, but this could keep the kids in a state of limbo for a very long period of time.
Well, Your Honor, the department does intend to file to modify.
The immigration attorney that I spoke to has explained to me that the ICE hold will continue even if the charges are dropped, since the arrest has occurred. And so she will still be transferred to the ICE detention center in Dallas, Your Honor, and her immigration attorney will have to argue the case there in Dallas to have her released.
Okay.
And so that's why I'm thinking that a pro bono attorney in Dallas is the best way to go for her.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I had a feeling that ICE would still have that hold on her. So, okay. Well, obviously the department's going to file their modification. And so I think it's time to start having those discussions about what's the long-term best solution for the children. So this could be, it could be years before any of that resolves itself.
And to be honest, Your Honor, even if she gets out of jail tomorrow and everything gets dropped, we would still have concerns about children's safety and her care that needed to be addressed.
Yeah, I understand. All right, Casa.
We are very pleased with where the children are placed. They're being taken care of in an outstanding manner. They're learning, they're thriving, they're doing great. When we visited with Encarnacion, she is very confused about all this and just seems to be in denial about a lot of what is going on. So I don't know that she understands or we didn't understand her, one or the other. But she does seem to have a lot of questions. But the children are in good care.
I'm sure it is very confusing to her. We've struggled with her level of maturity and just, before this obviously came about, this has been a struggle all along. Okay, then. Well, there's nothing else to do today other than obviously continue the department as permanent managing conservator of the children. And in cause number 10392, and then in 10407, then we're just in that trial independence since we've lost our SIL and everything. So we obviously will leave that case in the trial independence period. Let's see what that all kind of fell apart. In other words, how long do we have now on that?
When did she get arrested?
March. She departed care. I think I read March 13th.
Well, the court report said March. Is that?
Sorry, the end of her SIL placement when she was arrested was 7:30.
Okay, so we would want to start trial independence on 7:30.
Okay. Let me make a note of that. Okay. All right, then. Our next hearing is scheduled for March 12th of 2025. We'll have them both on the docket for that day. And I assume by then the department will have filed their.
Yes, Your Honor. We're going to seek to file to modify and then possibly to have a settlement conference. I don't know how feasible that will be. But that's the plan. And hopefully we might be asking for an earlier setting than March, but let's keep it at March for now until we get everything done.
Perfect. Okay. I know that's going to require trying to loop Mr. Amos back in too.
Yeah.
So my guess is you'll need until March, but with the holidays and everything else. So
yeah, unfortunately, I think you may be right.
Yeah. All right, then. I'll plan to see everybody back in March. What happens before that? I appreciate everybody. Thank y'all.
It looks like I have everybody but Miss Grant.
So Miss Grant is the ad litem and also the attorney for mom. His mom used to be a minor, and so Stacy was appointed to do both. So she is, and mom is not probably going to be present because she's incarcerated. So I just want to let the court know if we want to wait a minute for Miss Grant, or the department is ready to proceed.
She represents the mother in this case, but the child in the other case.
No, she represents the mom in all the. Yeah,
right,
the mom is now
the mom
18.
is a child in another case.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I read. I tried to muddle through that, but yeah, I got that message. So.
Okay, and I just had a Miss Stella Salinas come in. Is she a party to this?
I don't know who she is.
Oh, Delinda's.
She is placement on the Hicks case this afternoon.
Does anybody have a way to contact Miss Grant and see if she's on her way? Or
I can text her. Historically, she does a whole bunch of counties, so it's not unusual for her to be conflicted, but I'll text her.
Okay, because she's on 3 cases then, right?
Yeah.
I'm visiting Judge Kathy Morris, standing in today via Zoom for Judge Baker, and I would like all parties to please identify themselves for the record and announce ready or whatever your announcement is, and we'll start with Ms. Ferguson.
Pamela Ferguson, Regional Attorney representing the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. I'm present today on the 10564 Castro case with caseworker Becky, or Permanency Specialist Becky Hernandez, and Supervisor Dakota Miller, both from St. Francis Ministries, and we are ready.
Okay, thank you.
Monica Olivas and Beverly Schulte from CASA. Ready and present. Present and ready, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Stacy Grant on behalf of Encarnacion Castro in all matters.
Jim Shaw representing the father.
Belinda Ebeling ad litem for the child, present and ready.
Okay. All right, then before we get started, I'm going to ask everybody who's not an attorney on this call, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony given in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, you may go ahead and proceed, Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask Becky Hernandez just give the report to the court.
I will start off with Eugenia. Well, all 3 kids are placed in a foster home here in Lubbock. Eugenia, she is 4 years old and she is doing amazing.
Let me stop you for just a second. So I forgot, we want to do these first 2 together. Is that correct? So let me just correct that on the record that I'm also calling cause number 1. That's also set for a permanency hearing before a final order. And we're calling these together because they're related and have similar issues. So
thank you, Your Honor.
Correct that. Go ahead, Ms. Hernandez.
Yes, so Eugenia, she's 4 years old. She is placed in that foster home with her 2 brothers. She is doing amazing, Judge. She just started gymnastics that she attends every Monday, and she loves it. She loves learning how to do cartwheels, back rows, front rows. She is in pre-K, but she will be attending kindergarten this following year. She is right on track with her milestones, eating, sleeping great, no health concerns. And then there's Isabel Castro. He is 3 years old as well. He attends daycare and he is right on track with his milestones. Healthy as can be, loves playing with his siblings. And then there's the youngest, Alexander, who is 2 years old. He just recently got discharged from ECI because he is a smart little boy and he met all his milestones right on time. And with him as well, he's healthy, eating and sleeping well, bonding with all his siblings and bonded to the foster family as well. And yeah, they're doing great.
And Becky, I would ask you to give a report on your efforts to reach the dad and also how incarcerated and how the mom is doing.
Yes, so mom's still in the Lubbock County Jail. I was able to finally speak to her last month, but she just kind of wanted an update on the well-beings of her children. She did notify me that her criminal attorney told her not to communicate with CPS anymore, so she won't get on her phone calls sometimes, or just won't speak about that case specifically. I did send her parenting package to work on, but I don't think she's working on them due to not wanting to speak to CPS. With dad, I've reached out to family members. I've even reached out to the what was that place called that you referred me to, Pam?
The consulate.
Consulate, yes, to see if they can help me locate Domingo, because he left to Guatemala back in 2023 of December, and he hasn't reached back. He hasn't reached out to the department since.
Okay, thank you. I pass the witness if anybody has any questions.
All right. Mr. Shaw, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
How about Ms. Grant?
No questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Eberling?
No questions, Your Honor.
Would anyone like at this time to make a report to the court? I will start with Ms. Eberling as the attorney ad litem for the children. Anything you would like to report?
No, Your Honor. These children the oldest two have been in this placement for quite some time. Alexander was added when he was removed. This placement is fabulous. They are long-term prospective adoptive placement. They treat the children very, very well, as if they were their own. I have no concerns at all.
Okay, so you believe that this placement is appropriate, meeting the children's needs, and is in the best interest of the children to continue that placement?
Absolutely.
Okay. What about CASA? Do you all have a report, either one of you?
I think the kids are doing great in their placement. That family has just taken them in, not just the parents, but the extended family. They love these children very much, and it's quite obvious to see when you're around them that these children are cared for and loved very much. And I'm so glad that the children can be together. They have really bonded well, and they are just a typical little family, and we're very pleased.
What is the permanency goal for these children?
Your Honor, the permanency goal is at this time is termination and potential adoption with the family that they've been with. And I did also want to let the parties know that since we have had so much trouble getting in touch with Ms. Castro, that we will be sending her letters, but we will also be sending those letters to Ms. Grant as well. Ms. Grant, if you have any way to get them to her, because she isn't responding to the department, but we do need to continue to offer her services. So we will be sending them to her criminal attorney, to Ms. Grant, and to her in jail, and hopefully get a response.
Okay, and I noticed that the case is set for hearing, or both cases are set for hearings on May 14th at 9 o'clock. Do you all expect, well, I would just ask, do you normally request that cases go to mediation prior to trial if there's no obvious agreement? That's what our practice is, but my point is just to ask if you think that it'll be ready for the trial on that day.
Your Honor, I do believe we'll be ready, and it is the practice in this court to do mediation. However, in this case, I believe that mediation would likely be impossible given the incarceration of one parent and the unknown location of the other parent.
Right. Okay. Just wanted to request it. Are there any other specific orders that need to be made today that anyone believes need to be or important to be included today?
Your Honor, if communications with Ms. Castro are going to be reduced to writings in the form of letters, her understanding level is going to be questionable, and her ability to read and comprehend information in letters will be questionable unless it's written in, native languages and all of that.
Your Honor, she was educated before she was incarcerated, and she was going to school and reading in Spanish. So we will make sure that everything is translated into Spanish and English for her. And that's also why we're sending it to her attorneys. Hopefully they have a way to communicate with her.
I don't see another option if she's not wanting to talk with the department other than communication through the attorneys. So,
And just for the record, she won't speak to me either. And so communicating those through me will not be an effective way to get those to her. So hopefully her criminal attorney can assist if his advice to her is going to be not to talk to anyone. But I'll reach out to that person as well and see kind of where we could get with it, Your Honor.
okay, thank you. That's good. I mean, I think obviously this is a difficult situation, and I think it's appropriate to go through the attorneys, but also directly to to the parent who's incarcerated. And I think all the department can do is continue to make efforts. And in relation to that, I will find that the department has made reasonable efforts to reunify the children in this case by their due diligence in attempting to locate the father and to communicate with the mother in this case. Are there any other issues we need to address?
Not that I'm aware of at this time, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, then at this time, the court will find that the current placement of the children is appropriate and in the best interest of the children, and will continue that placement. The court finds it's not in the best interest at this time to return the child to either parent. It's basically impossible. Father's location is unknown, despite best efforts by the department. The mother's incarcerated. So the court will also find that neither parent is in compliance with the plan of service and approve the permanency plan in this case for unrelated adoption after termination of parents' rights. As I said, the case is set for a bench trial, final trial on May 14th at 9 o'clock. That'll, of course, go back to Judge Baker. So are there any other questions or comments at this point?
No, Your Honor.
I'm glad to see that these kids are at least in a very good situation. That's probably the best, one of the best outcomes we could expect in this case. So, all right, then I guess if there's nothing further, then you all are, everyone is excused.
Through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties, and we are also live streaming. All right, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Pamela Ferguson, Regional Attorney representing the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. I am present and ready with Permanency Specialist Zona Ramsey and Supervisor Dakota Miller from St. Francis Ministries.
Linda Ebling, Attorney ad litem.
Okay, well, how's she doing? I know we're in an adjustment phase, and I'm so sad about this failed adoption, but
yes, it was pretty disheartening when it all happened, when it kind of all went down. I kept the parties updated when that happened. However, Tonnie's actually doing very well. She got into the College to Go program in Houston at Washington High School, so she'll be able to complete her her time in high school, like get her credits, that's the word I was looking for, by May. So she'll graduate with her high school degree in May, and she'll begin a medical program in the following time frame to become like a sonogram reader person. I can't remember what it is, but I mean, it's a medical program. She's really excited. I'm really proud of her. She's actually made a lot of strides since going to this placement regarding her education.
it's great. Good outcome. So that sounds great.
Mhm.
All right, maybe it just wasn't the right fit. Is she gonna end up finishing school early then? But she's still just 16, isn't she?
She'll turn 17 in April, so she'll graduate a year early essentially, but we can get her started on her independent living things, and the placement is willing to help with that. And I mean, they've been working hard to get her in this program. She's been working hard to get in this program, so she'll be 17 when she graduates. So not too early, but just about a year.
Yeah. So even more reason why we want to work really hard with her on independent living.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm impressed at that kind of progress. That's great. All right, Ms. Ebling, anything to report?
Nothing to add, Your Honor.
She understands about what her options are, and then she wants to do the SIL and go that route.
Yes, we've talked to her about it, and we've spoken to her about, like, did she want us to find an adoptive home again? We can try again, and she was adamantly against it, and so we're just following Tonnie's lead just a little bit on kind of what she wants to do with her future.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's where the focus needs to be, because it's going to be here before you know it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go with it. All right. then let's see, our next hearing, looking. Okay, yeah, it'll be in March, so that'll be a few months before she graduates and everything. So probably time-wise, that'll be good. So we'll just continue the department as permanent managing conservator and continue her current placement. And I'll see y'all back March 12th of 2025. We do a check-in and make sure she's got everything that she's going to need and all of that. She's got her documents, I think I read, and then she was wanting to get a job. So she's still thinking about that.
Yes, it's one of those work in progress type things, trying to see what her new schedule is going to look like going through the new program. If she's going to have enough time to adequately separate them, like her work and her schooling. So we're just trying to see how it works out for her in the beginning. And then we've talked about her getting another job, like she had one previously and she liked working at Sonic, but we're going to see how her new schedule pans out to see if she'll be able to make time for it.
Sure. Okay. All right. Sounds really good. I'm proud of her and I'm glad it's going so well. Okay, then I'll see y'all back March 12th. Oh, and I think, did I say that was on the 9 o'clock docket? I can't remember.
I think you did.
If I didn't, then it is. All right, thank y'all. We're conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We're live streaming and Ms. Galvan's making our record today. Okay, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Pamela Ferguson, Regional Attorney representing the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. I am present and ready with Permanency Specialist Donna Ramsey and Supervisor Dakota Miller from St. Francis Ministries.
Stacy Grant, attorney ad litem for Tori, I'm ready.
Monica Olivas with Costa, present and ready.
Okay, what do we have new on Tori?
Since her placement, I'm happy to say that there's not a lot new. I mean, that's one of my favorite things to say. She's doing really well. She's really improved since she's been in the home. I have talked to her therapist that she has now in the new placement, and we've kind of talked about how like a lot of her eating issues have kind of not necessarily gone away, but they've subsided a lot. And we think it has to do with the fact that Tori's in the home alone. Like she's the only child, I mean. She still has 2 foster parents. Let me just clarify. She's not alone, but there's not another child in the home. And we think that had a lot to do with her eating issues, is that she doesn't feel maybe subconsciously as like her food might be taken away since there are not other children. So, I mean, since then, that's about the only real update I have. I mean, she started junior high. She's doing real well so far. She still needs assistance and a lot of reassurance when doing her homework. She needs a lot of encouragement there. But I mean, overall, she's doing very well in the placement.
Okay, great. All right. Sounds like she's got friends that live there in the neighborhood, and so sounds like a good situation for her. Okay. Ms. Grant, anything to report today?
Nothing to report, Judge. I concur that being in an only child home, I think, has been very beneficial for Tori.
Okay, and Casa.
No concerns, Judge. I saw her in person, visited her, and she's doing amazing. She's doing very, very good. She was actually having good conversations, staying still. She showed me around, and she's happy child.
Okay. All right, let's hope we can keep her right there. And I know it's early on, but is this placement possibly a long-term placement?
That was actually our goal when she was placed here. That was one of the first conversations we've had. This foster family specifically has not had the chance to have an adoptive placement, in a sense of all the kids that have been in their home have been, they still had like parental rights were still there. So Tori is one of the ones that it's their first chance at adopting, and they are absolutely infatuated with her. They love her to death. And it is our goal that this will be her permanent home.
Okay, great. Well, at age 12, I think that's got a real chance of succeeding. So I'm really excited for her. Okay. Well, let's give them all the support we can to make it work. All right, then I will continue the department as permanent managing conservator, and I will continue placement and see everybody back on March 12th, 2025 for our next review hearing. That's on a 9 o'clock docket. Okay, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
We're here today
Thank
on
you.
a review hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We are also live streaming, and Ms. Galvan is making our record for us this morning. Okay, we'll take announcements.
Pamela Ferguson, Regional Attorney representing the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. I'm present and ready with Permanency Specialist Paula Mears and Supervisor Stacy Brown from St. Francis Ministries.
Yolanda Ebling representing the mother, Rocio Navarro, and we're both present and ready.
Monica Olivas
Stacey
and Melissa
Grant.
Newman with CASA.
Stacey Grant, attorney for Jose Navarro, judge, and I have not been able to make contact, and I don't see him here.
Savannah Kincaid, I represent the child, and I'm ready.
All right, thank y'all. Okay, what do we have new since the court report was filed?
Ask Ms. Mears to give the
Yuritsi is doing fine in her placement. She is, healthy and going to school. She's struggling in math. We had an incident at school where she was caught cheating, but that has been addressed, and she was reprimanded at school. But we are getting her some extra tutoring, and she has learned her lesson. But she is doing well in her other subjects. Excuse me. We've actually hopefully found her. She's currently placed in an emergency shelter, and hopefully we have found her a more permanent type of placement that has occurred yesterday. I have not received confirmation of that yet, and hopefully that will come today. And if that is confirmed, then the placement will be in the same area where mom is at, and that will facilitate face-to-face visits with mother. And I'm very pleased about that. It will also facilitate face-to-face family counseling, and I'm very pleased about that. I'm just waiting for the confirmation, and hopefully that will come today. So you're ready? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to confirm. So that would be in the Lubbock area.
Yes, it will.
Okay. All right. Great.
But Yuritsi, she's doing well. She's healthy. I haven't had any reports of any major medical issues. She's in counseling. She continues her counseling. We opted when she had to leave her last placement to go to the emergency shelter because the last placement that foster home had to close down. We kept the same therapist, so for continuity of care. And so she's continued in that therapy, doing weekly therapy, and she's doing very well in that. She just continues to thrive. She has had some incidents with some other girls in the emergency shelter, but those girls are no longer there. So I'm glad to hear that. But other than that, she's doing good. The restrictions of visitation with mom were lifted. So mom and Yuritsi have been having virtual visits weekly. And that started about 3 weeks ago, I believe now. And they're having good visits. And I'm just excited that hopefully we can get face-to-face visits where mom can give Yuritsi some hugs and some kisses. So.
Okay, great. All right. Well, I would say that was mostly all good news.
Yes, ma'am.
When will we know for sure about the placement?
If it's confirmed, I should receive a confirmation either today or tomorrow. Once it's confirmed, it comes pretty quick. Like I said, I got the email yesterday late that it was a possibility. I just don't know for certain. So I'm just waiting, Your Honor. It's a waiting game typically.
Okay. Just if somebody will just, I guess, Ms. Ferguson, when you know, or if you all can, when you confirm, if somebody would just shoot me an email to confirm that that has happened, and obviously Ms. Kincaid needs to know that and the details of that and everything. So, but I'd just like to know so I can update my notes because, it'll be a while till our next hearing. And so I'd just like to know that maybe has happened.
Absolutely.
Yes, Your Honor. I will send it out to all parties and the court.
Okay. I appreciate it.
As far as,
go
sorry.
ahead. No.
As far as Mom is concerned, Mom has basically completed all of her services. She needs to complete, do the family therapy. And the main concern is her housing stability. She has lived in 3 different homes with 3 different cousins during the life of this case. And so that is the main concern, is her housing stability. She just needs to address that. I've talked to Miss Navarro about that, whether she wants to live with a cousin and have that support, that is fine. Or if she wants to have her own place, that is fine. She just needs to find her stability. Mr. Navarro, I have had no contact with at all during this case. I don't know where his location is. He is somewhere in Clovis, New Mexico. And the criminal trial for the sex abuse is
Judge, if we're going to discuss any of that, I'd like to go off YouTube.
Okay.
Can we just be a little less specific? But is he still incarcerated?
No, he is not.
Okay. Did he bond?
As far as I know, he did. I just know that he is no longer incarcerated. And
Your Honor, we don't have any locating information for him. Is that correct, Ms. Mears?
Well, I have a probable address and I've sent letters, but I have not received anything back.
That his criminal charges are pending.
Yes, yes. And that is to be addressed in November sometime.
Okay. So he must have bonded out.
We assume so, Your Honor, but I haven't been able to check and confirm since it's a different system.
Yeah. Okay, but nonetheless, he's not cooperated with us in any fashion, worked any services, done anything to mitigate reasons for removal, any of those things.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
And all restrictions barring contact are still in place.
For him.
For him, yes.
Okay, so, all right, Ms. Edling, I want to hear from you. I do want to just speak with your client about the housing situation and kind of find out what is her plan, and the clock is ticking. We're kind of running out of time, so unless we go into an extension, so we need to kind of determine what direction she's headed with that.
Okay. I am very pleased with all the progress she's made since even the last hearing that we had. She has done classes and services that she's been asked to do. We did talk about the housing. She was hoping to go look at some apartments even yesterday. I don't think there's any issues with the cousin, and I appreciate Ms. Mears saying that that is an option. But she would like to be on her own. And so that is her goal, is to try to find her own housing where she and her daughter could live.
And Your Honor, I would like to clarify, we need information from the people who live in the home currently. If reunification were to occur, we would obviously need to be able to background check everybody in that home. And we haven't, they haven't so far been willing to really share that information. So.
And if the cousin isn't willing, I understand that would be an obstacle, but I think it's just the one cousin in the home. But we'd follow up on that if that is an option she wants to pursue. Did I say that right, Marcio?
I'm sorry, Ms. Evelyn, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just ask her if I said that correctly.
Yes. Yes, I want to find my I'm gonna go again to put some other application fees. Hopefully by next month I'll be getting a place to stay, because I don't want her to bring her here and then I have to move her back to another school if it's not the same district. So I know she's been going through a lot of different schools, so that's why I'm hurrying up, doing the apartment hunting to make sure if it's a better place, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm gonna look at some other apartments today. Yesterday I already submitted some application things, but I'm gonna go look at some other ones that they told me. So hopefully next month I'll be having my own place already. That's what I already have the money saved up for the deposit and what I'm paying right now with the application fees or stuff like that. So hopefully by November I should have a place already there, a place to stay of my own. That's my goal.
Okay. All right. And Ms. Grant, anything else to report? Did we lose her?
Not Miss Grant. I'm confused.
I don't see her, Judge. She may have dropped off.
I think she's dropped off.
I think she must have.
Oh.
She in her announcement, she said she'd had no contact, so I suspect that's all she really had to report. Okay, Ms. Kincaid.
Thank you, Your Honor. In the emergency shelter, there were some issues, maybe a little bit of bullying going on, but the children that were doing that have been removed, and hopefully with the placement change, that'll address some of those issues. Without going into specifics, I think there may be some anxiety that Sam is going through right now. And I know that they're working through that in counseling. And hopefully with, more visits and more contact and some therapeutic visitation, some of that can be addressed. But I did want to bring it to the court's attention that there were some issues with some anxiety, I think. The other thing I want to bring up is that there may be some attempted contact by paternal family, and I would like to make sure that that's not going on, as well as there's an aunt named Maria that was a former placement, and there was some negative contact with that, so we'd like to limit that as well.
All right, and is St. Francis aware of that?
Yes, Your Honor, and that aunt should have been taken off of the contact list. And I will verify that that has happened. But I gave instructions to have that aunt removed from the contact list.
Yeah, we just found out about it, I think last week or the week before. We weren't aware that contact was going on. So now we know.
Okay.
We concur even as far as maternal family, but we agree with that request as well, Your Honor.
Then Casa.
I was going to wait for Melissa. Melissa, would you like to say something?
And you're muted. Yeah.
Sorry. No, again, the problems that have been going on within the housing situation right now, those have all been resolved, including I also verified that the aunt was taken off the call list. I mean, you are more than welcome to verify again, but she was taken off. Jessica is still on there, so I don't know if anybody wants to request for her to be removed from the call list.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't want no contact with my family, none of them. Because whenever I went to go get them help, that's the first time Sam has been around them, stuff like that. And I don't want none of them to be. The reason we always got apart with them because of my beliefs of the Lord. It was a big issue with that. And because they didn't like her father, that was one thing. It's just they were really controlling. And even now with me right now, they try to control me too much that it was, I don't want my daughter being in that environment with them, especially with Jessica, that she has done stuff in her past that are not correct. That, and even my smaller sister ended up getting her father-in-law, and she hated that years. And right now, 3 of her other brother-in-laws are in jail for rape, and I know one of them is going to get out, and I just don't want her around there. I don't want nothing to do with them. I just want to protect her. I don't want her to end up like me being what to do. I don't want none of that. I just want to start a new, have peace, me and my daughter, when we're gonna work here, so we can restore our relationship.
Okay,
Stuff.
so
So
far,
I'm,
I
I'm
know.
really concerned about that because I don't want to tell. I know they might talk to you and tell her, "No, where's your mom leaving?" or something, and I don't want them to tell them where I'm at because they might. Last time they told her, I told you, they say I was in Clovis, and Maria told her dad, and he went looking for me. So it's like I don't want none of that. I know my daughter doesn't see it that it's wrong, but they might ask her questions that right now we're like in I'm just scared that he's gonna do something to me or find out where she's at and take her to Mexico. That's one of my things, because I didn't finish fixing his visa, so he could just leave to Mexico, and no, there's not gonna be no trace. So I'm just concerned about that. I just want her to be and myself to be safe and to start our life without no toxic family.
Okay, I understand that. So Ms. Newman, I want to let Ms. Newman finish her report to me.
Sorry. Yeah, but as far as that, she did try to call Jessica. Jessica has not spoken with her at all. She has not returned a call. They have not spoken. So there is that. So she needs to be taken off the list. There hasn't been anything that's happened there so far. And I know that we are trying to get some tutoring for math. They requested through the school and they said it's going to be a long process. So I was going to follow up with maybe some other possible tutoring options and see if we can get something or talk the school into speeding it up a little bit, because she is struggling a good bit with math. And let me see what else. And we are trying to get, work on that family counseling. We think that would be a really good idea as far as them being able to do that together. That's all I have.
Okay, so what do we need to do to get this other individual removed from the contact list? And that's a question for Ms. Mears.
I will just call placement and tell them to take that aunt off and make sure that there's no contact.
Okay. Can we Ms. Mears, when you do that, will you just go over that entire list with placement just to be sure we've caught everything?
I will.
Okay. Great. All right then. Well, if y'all just give me a notice about the placement change, and so that we'll know that that's all moving forward, then I'll continue the department as temporary managing conservator and continue the child's placement and obviously approve the change of placement if that comes through for us. We are set for our bench trial on December 11th. Of 2024. That is right now set on a 9 o'clock docket. If mom obtains her own housing between now and then, and we've got family therapy started and all that, I can foresee that there might be a reason for some extension in the case if things are going well. So, we can talk about that when it gets closer to that time, even, in advance of that hearing. So everybody knows what we're doing that day, but hopefully we're still headed down the right path. So, all right. But today I would find there'd be a continuing danger to return the child home, but that the department's using reasonable efforts. Mom is definitely in compliance with her service plan, and Ms. Navarro, you're doing great. Just keep doing what you're doing, and get that housing thing situated as soon as you can, because the longer you're there, the more stable it is, and the better we can take a look at that.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right then. I'll see everybody back December 11th. And Ms. Ferguson, you can certainly circulate and let me know if everybody is in agreement to an extension at that point in time, and then I'll take a look at it and I can decide whether, we'll grant that before that actual trial date. So.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think that is likely going to be the department's request, but a lot can happen between now and December. So
yeah, exactly.
Making sure we're making forward progress.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. And those of you that are no longer involved, have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Judge. You too.
Thank you, Judge.
Here on our review, we are conducting this through Zoom under finding good cause and agreement of the parties. We are live streaming, and I am recording this to the Zoom cloud. I don't have a reporter for Briscoe County today, so If you need a copy, let me know and we'll make that available. Okay, we're going to take announcements.
Pamela Ferguson, Regional Attorney representing the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. I'm present and ready with Permanency Specialist Lindsay LaFave and Supervisor Heather LaQuay from St. Francis Ministries.
Linda Eveling ad litem for Katie.
All right, and got CASA present with us. Well,
Your Honor, it may be a different CASA.
Yeah, and I don't have anybody. It should be Amarillo area CASA, and I don't have anybody logged in. Miss Katie, could you shoot an email to somebody over there and see if they've got anybody that's going to hop on for this?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you.
And now I've lost my worker.
Your Honor, she was having some audio difficulties, so she was going to log back in. So fingers crossed.
I heard. Yeah. We'll make it happen. Okay, there she is. All right, then. We've got Miss Stashi logged in for CASA, so CASA is also present with us today. Okay, what do we have new since your court report was filed, Ms. LaFave? Can you hear us?
Can you hear Lindsay?
I can.
Well, we can hear you.
Let me try to.
I'll just go ahead. Katie is doing great. She's placed with her uncle. That is an out-of-region kinship home study. She was on run for a while. We were able to recover her, got her placed with her maternal aunt and uncle who do want to be long-term placement for her. To my knowledge, Katie's doing very well in that placement, and we've not had any issues.
Okay.
And Your Honor, this is the same aunt and uncle that she was placed with earlier on in the case.
Yeah, she was placed there previously before we were on the case over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. When she ran, she agreed to come back if she could be placed there. So we did a kinship home study. We wanted her recovered from runaway because she was on run for over a month. And Lindsay has maintained contact with that placement and Katie. And Katie seems to be happy, and we're happy she's no longer on run.
Okay. Well, I mean, if she's doing well there and everything's good, then that's great. And I'm glad they were willing to take her. Okay, then. CASA, have anything to report?
I apologize. I had the wrong time written down for this. So I apologize.
No
I'm
problem.
late.
No, it's no problem.
Katie's doing well in placement. I know she got in a little trouble at school for a vape. She said it's not hers, but she's serving her time in DAEP and is doing good there. I have spoke with the uncle, and I know that they're interested in adopting it at some point as well. Other than that, I don't have really anything to add. She's doing really well since she returned.
Okay. Any issues while she was on runaway?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that we're aware of. I have Lindsay on speakerphone so she can hear. Lindsay, were there any issues while she was on run?
Not that I'm aware of either.
She was with family members is what we were aware of while she was on run.
Okay. All right, then, are we going to start sort of whatever process we need to with them on adoption?
Your Honor, they are not wanting to adopt through the department, but we are wanting to monitor the placement for a period of time just to make sure that it's successful and to also make sure that they understand all the benefits that she might be losing if they do a private adoption kind of process. But either way, the department will need to file to modify. So we would like to monitor for a period of time before we do that.
Okay.
Plan on talking to placement later again this week just to check on her. And I was gonna kind of throw in what she could be losing if they do it privately too. I don't know. He didn't really mention what his reason was wanting to do it privately, but I wanted to address that as well. I know Lindsay probably has too, but just wanted to repeat it for them.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I think just as long as we know that they're aware and seem to understand, and then I think, Katie's 15, I think she needs to be aware and have a voice in that as well. So.
And we do know they did not want to go through the licensing process, which was why they did not want to adopt through us and wanted to do it privately. And I'm not sure their reasoning behind that.
Probably just because it takes a while.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot to deal with. But, I don't know anything about their financial situation or anything else. So, it may be perfectly fine, but anyway, Ms. Ebling, you have anything to add?
A couple of things, Your Honor. Katie does want everyone to know that she does want to be adopted as soon as possible. So I think she's maybe signing on to the private adoption thing too. But I would feel more comfortable if the benefits are spelled out in writing for them and for Katie, and that they acknowledge that they've read it, they understand it. Katie did indicate that she's thinking about some type of medical program and then maybe going on to a nurse practitioner program. That's a lot of schooling and a lot of expense that she would get. And I don't know if she would get her, and I just don't remember if she would get her tuition waiver, private adoption as well, or if it would just be the other benefits that she would lose. But I just think that needs to be clarified for everybody, but especially for all of them, because I do agree that I want Katie to be very, very crystal clear about what she would be giving up if they don't go this route.
Yeah.
The other thing is, she said she's within a few days of having a review of her participation in the VAEP program that she's in. So hopefully she will be out of that and back in regular classes. Other than that, she said she's happy where she is, and that's where she wants to be.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think we just need to be sure they really all understand what, especially if she's going to go on in college, what that could be given up. Okay. All right, then we'll continue the department as permanent managing conservator and continue her current placement. And our next review hearing is scheduled for March 12th, 2025. That's a 9 o'clock docket. Oh, excuse me, 1 o'clock docket. 1 o'clock. And I know it's out of area. What do you all think? You think just a kind of a family team meeting type thing might be the best format? Get everybody together to go over what all she's entitled to, and do we need to loop in anybody special from St. Francis on that, or?
We can definitely do a family team meeting and get our clinical utilization team to, I don't want to say monitor, to mediate that meeting, and be available and have everything ready for them to explain all the benefits, what they would be missing and what they will get if they do private adoption.
Okay, I think that's a good idea.
And Your Honor, basically we'll be filing a modified transfer PMC, and then they'll be on their own after that to do the adoption. So, it would be whatever benefits they would get if we give them PMC.
Unless they decided to go through the licensing process.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the question. I mean, we really need to have that meeting and know what their intent is, and then decide, okay, do they want to go through the licensing process, or are they comfortable with what they might get through doing PMC? I just think that all needs to be spelled out, and then they need to make a decision, and then we go with that.
Yes, Your Honor. And we would also, I think there's also a sentiment that we would like to monitor this placement since she was there for a period of time before, and it was her request to be moved from there the last time. So we want to make sure that you know, that they have the support that they need to transition before we
Right.
take action.
Yeah, I understand. Because I remember the allegations and all that. So, okay. All right. Well, I'll see everybody back in March. We'll see where it goes. Okay. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
We are,
Thank you.
thanks, here today. Okay, then for a review hearing. In the case, we are conducting this through Zoom under a finding good cause and agreement of the parties. We are also live streaming. Ms. Galvan is making a record of our hearing today. All right. Also for the record, I did have an in-chambers visit with one of the children this morning with Brianna. Also present at that hearing, of course, was her attorney ad litem, and CASA was present as well. Okay. We'll go ahead and take announcements then.
Todd Albee on behalf of the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. I'm present and ready to proceed. Cassie Kopic is the St. Francis Ministries Permanency Specialist who will be giving us an update, Your Honor.
Stacy Grant, attorney for the mother, Your Honor.
All right. And look, because I don't think she's logged in.
I've not gotten any replies to my communications, Judge, and we did send what we had.
Okay. I'll watch for her in the waiting room.
Ad litem for the children present ready.
Shelby Stashy, CASA.
Okay, and as stated, Mr. Taylor could not be present, but he did file a report, but his client, Mr. Perez, is present. Okay. Well, just as a review, let's go ahead and just update since the court report was filed.
Since the court report's filed, I still haven't been able to talk to Lori. I did talk to Brianna, and, you know, well, I think that was in my court report, but things haven't been going that great at home. We asked Mom to do a hair follicle drug screen at the end of August. She still hasn't done that. She had told Connie, which is the grandma that was the placement before, that she didn't want to do the drug screen because she had her baby in July, and she didn't want whatever medicine they gave her because she had a C-section to show up in the drug screen. But, you know, we're not testing for, well, it might be, but she would have a prescription for that, but it wouldn't be like meth or something like that. We did get a report today in that said that Mom was leaving all the girls for Bree to watch on 2 different occasions, I guess Sunday and Monday. And I guess that's about it.
Has that been investigated officially?
No, it just came in today. It like 9 or so o'clock.
Judge, we do have an investigation beginning, but we have not been able to make any headway on that at this point in time.
Okay, but that's come into intake?
Correct.
Okay.
The department, Your Honor, would be requesting that that we order Ms. Kroll to do a hair follicle and UA drug screen today. We've had some problems with her doing it on a timely basis, so we're asking that be done, that order be today. And then, in addition, Your Honor, we're asking that the children be placed back in the home with grandmother Connie until that drug screen is complete and our investigation is complete.
Yeah, and obviously that only is the 2 children that we have jurisdiction over.
Correct.
Has she done any UAs for us?
She did a UA, I believe it was the 2nd of September. It was negative. And then I didn't ask her. The UA that she did, I asked her to do in August, but she waited until September to do it. And then I did not ask her to go in July because she had the baby and she had a catheter because they nicked her bladder. So I didn't ask her to go in July. And then they were negative prior to that.
So, Ms. Topic, you said you had spoken with one of the children.
Yes.
All right. Without telling me that, unless there were some specific outcries, any concerns based on your conversations with that child?
Yes. The concern was that they were over at Cash's house for a little while, I guess in the month of July, August, and then also concerns that Bree's having to take care of the other children, like being the primary caregiver for him while mom goes somewhere else, and then fighting between Cash and Lori.
Okay, and Mr. Kroll doesn't have any sanctioned visitation with either of the children at this time. Is that correct?
We were doing supervised visitation, but he quit showing up. He was ordered to do the Padre program, and he never did complete that. But I mean, I guess he didn't need us to supervise visits if he was getting to see the kids. I did ask her. I didn't flat out ask her if they were living there, but she did tell me that they ran into him, but she didn't like allow visits, and that she was going over to Cash's dad's house, I believe is what she told me, to like stay, because they go to school in Claude and they live in Clarendon, so it's 30 minutes. And Cameron gets out of school earlier than Bree because she's in the sports and stuff. So she said that they were doing that, but
nevertheless, he wasn't supposed to have unsupervised access.
Correct.
To the children.
Correct.
And she knew that.
Yes.
All right, anything else from St. Francis today?
No.
Not at this time, Your Honor. We'll rest.
All right, Ms. Grant.
Judge, just again, I'm having trouble reaching my client. I would just ask if the caseworker does connect, that could she please pass a message that her attorney is looking for her and to please call or email or anything, so that I can maybe discuss these issues with her and provide her some more direction. But other than that, I don't have anything to add to the report since I haven't had any contact.
All right, thank you. Okay, and Mr. Perez is present with us today, sir. We've read your attorney's report. Is there anything else that you would like to address today?
The times that I have spoken with my daughter, she didn't go into detail as they were saying, but she did mention that she felt more comfortable at her grandmother's.
Okay, you cut out just a little bit. Would you just repeat that?
Yes, sorry. So the times that I've spoken with my daughter, she has mentioned that she was more comfortable at her grandmother's. She did not elaborate why, but she did mention that to me.
All right, sir. Okay, visits are still going well between the two of you, and I appreciate that you're still supportive of her decision to want to remain in her current area because of her school and friends and activities.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right, then, Mr. Barfield.
Yes, Your Honor. First of all, thank you, Mr. Perez, for your attitude in this case. It's very good to see. My recommendation, based upon the information that I've received, based upon mom not cooperating with drug tests, my recommendation is the department remain temporary conservators, that placement be with grandmother, that mom needs to start drug testing. Essentially, what I've figured out, and this is more for Ms. Grant's benefit, mom is basically abdicating her role as a parent again and doing some behaviors that are very concerning to me, subjecting the children to strange men in her home, staying out all night, all sorts of stuff like that. So I think we've taken a tremendous step back. And so my recommendation is placement with grandparents.
All right, and Casa.
I don't really have much more to add. Both girls have mentioned that they're seeing cash occasionally. So I just have some concerns about that and mom's behavior and lack of communication. We've had trouble getting in hold of her as well and scheduling visits.
All right. Okay, Mr. Albee, I was reviewing back. I mean, we didn't ever do an official order for monitored return, did we? We just placed with mom. Is that correct?
I'm not sure Gail would be able to answer that question. Gail?
Ma'am, I'll have to look. I can let you know in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't show. I didn't order a monitored return at a hearing. So, I mean, I'm looking at docket entries, but I unless you all submitted an order to me, but I can't look at Armstrong County stuff right now. So I guess I assumed it was just sort of as placement, and I'm not really seeing anything that reset our time clock.
I don't think so either, Your Honor, but I hate to tell you one thing and then Gail usually corrects me when I make those decisions. So.
Your Honor, in June, I see an order, a permanency order that's entitled Permanency Hearing Order Before Final Court Order for Transitional Monitored Return. It was June 18th, the hearing, and it was filed June 24th.
Okay, so it was then an order for monitored return.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, on June 18th. So based on that, what I show as the dismissal date would be incorrect. Well, no. Maybe we've got the correct date. Hang on. No, I've got the dismissal date as 12/21. Okay, that's correct.
That would be correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're set for trial December 3rd of 2024 on a 9 a.m. docket. That's obviously right now is our drop dead date, but I'm going to pick the kids up from the monitored return and place them back with grandmother. So
I think that
all you experts can figure out what that does to our time frame.
Right. I think that changes our time frame, Your Honor. And I think that because today is the day we pick up, I think we have an additional 180 days from today.
We do, but I'm still setting, the case is still set for a trial on December 3rd.
Gotcha.
So just I want just to be clear about that. Everybody understands. Yeah, it does reset the clock, but I'm still leaving this set for a final on December 3rd. I'm going to address several things. If one of you will calculate the new dismissal date for me, that'd be great.
Todd, do you foresee needing an order for mediation, or if I can find my client, can we just do a settlement conference?
That's where we're headed. That's going to be part of my order.
Okay, great.
So when you have that new dismissal date, whoever, just chime in and let me know.
Ma'am, I have April 7th.
Okay, then today I'm going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I'm going to order that the children be removed again from the mother, and we'll pick it up from the monitored return. So we'll set a new dismissal date of April 7th of 2025. I'm going to order the parties to mediation before December 1st of 2024. Our final is set for December 3rd of 2024. I'm going to order Ms. Kroll to drug test hair and UA. Where does she go to drug screen?
Hair Express in Amarillo.
Hair Express.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ms. Kopic, are you in contact with her? I mean, can you get a call to her or a text message?
I can do that, but she's not been responding to me. So I think she would probably ignore it, but yes, I can call her and I can text her.
All right. Well, we'll just say before 4 p.m. today.
Cassie, could you email me the phone number you're using for her just so I can compare it to what I have and make sure I'm harassing the right person?
Yes, I can.
Because I don't get any replies either, but I want to make sure. I want to just verify that number, so I've done my due diligence.
All right. And then find there's a continuing danger to leave the children in the care of the mother. So, Mr. Perez, this is all probably kind of Greek to you, what we're talking about, but I'm placing the children back with their grandmother. And we're going to try to get mom drug screened and everything, but this could extend the case out potentially until April. It's not really my intent to let it go out to drag on that long. I'm leaving that final set for December 3rd. So that is our next hearing. That Mr. Taylor will certainly be in contact with you about, any change in that plan, but I just wanted to make sure you understood what was going on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that's where Brianna will be. So, I don't know whether that makes any difference in how you contact her. You probably talk to her on her cell phone, but just so you know that that's where she'll be living again. Okay. So, Ms. Kopic, can St. Francis affect that change in placement right away and help go get the kids' belongings and things that they need?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just peremptory, I'm going to enter an order that the mother will cooperate in turning over the children's belongings, clothing, school stuff, sporting stuff, whatever that, whatever needs to go with them to grandmother's house. Okay. Anybody have any questions? All right, then. That's the new plan, and I'll see everybody back December 3rd. Miss Katie will do an order on the mediation. I'm going to assign an attorney to mediate the case. And then you all start trying to get a date secured. I know it gets hard. The more of you that are involved, the harder it gets. So we'll get somebody assigned as soon as we can.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Appreciate y'all, and everybody have a good rest of your day.
Thank you,